Hello everybody, this is Travis. You're at Tpull's Corner, and this is my Stronghold. Not the corner. Well, the corner could be considered my Stronghold, but the name of the deck is my Stronghold because I now have 4 copies of Stronghold Arena, which means I make a deck out of it. We can kick it twice, and the thing is, these 3 colors, they don't work quite well in the current environment, right? Because it's green, white, and black, which is Abzan colors. It's a 3-color combination. It's usually referred to as a wedge color. It doesn't match one of the Syndicate family colors from Streets of New Capenna. But we want to keep it until we can kick it to max out the life gain. Then whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you can reveal the top card of your library, put in your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its mana value. So it's a bit of a crapshoot, and my enemy knows what I've got, and they still put out the creature anyway. So we're just going to get rid of the creature. And I think we'll put that out for right now. See if they put down a 2-color land. If they put out a non-basic, I'll go get a Plains and save the Aganjo. If not, I may have to bite the bullet and play the Aganjo. It's a regular land. Do they get rid of Cruelty of Gix, or do they get rid of Stronghold Arena? They don't know what I've made the deck about, but they know Stronghold Arena is the cheaper card, and the one I can cast now. Cruelty of Gix, I can search my library on Chapter 2 for a specific card. So they get rid of Cruelty of Gix. That's protection from red and green, and I'm not going up against red and green, but we'll see if they have a counterspell real quick. They're still not going to like that card getting on a creature later. Spell Pierce, okay. Kind of glad that we used it that way. So discarding counter spells for the most part, and so they're just stalling until they find their one good creature that's a win con. Okay, here's where we find out if they have another discard spell or not. They had 2 copies of Duress up top. What are the odds they have a 3rd? And what else are they holding on to? Let's get rid of their dual land. We need another Plains for Intrepid Adversary. Come on, come on, come on. And hopefully they don't have another discard. I'm going to put Shigeki out now. They might waste a removal spell on it, which is okay. I mean, otherwise I just block Sataro. But I'm expecting removal, and it is. And now they're top decking, so. Ninja trick? Too bad I had to use my Aganjo. Okay, so now they got 2 3/2s out, and they still hardcast Sataro. This lets me pump it only once. So now I have a 4/2. Which is not the greatest for Adversary to be out there by itself. And I didn't have a whole lot to pump it up with. Well, this has been kind of the story of the playtesting. I'm flooding out with land when I need other stuff. I tried to put 1 extra land in because it land starved me for so long, and as soon as I put 1 extra land in, it flooded me out, so I had to take the extra land out. And mostly I went back to being land starved. But there's always a point where a spell would be useful. Let's go get the final plains though. Straight up trade. I kind of feel like I got the better of that deal. They know that I've got just a plains. So maybe I should have just declined that, but... Counterspell? Or they just want to read the card because it's not one that's commonly used. No, they... Okay, but I can pay for that. Why would they waste a spell like that? Even if they have a second make disappear, I can still pay for it. They just figured they have so many spells that aren't going to do any good. They just make me sweat. I don't know. Okay, we do another trade. Their life is so high. This is probably, they think this is a good deal. Didn't need those lands at this point. Let's see real quick what they've got in their hand. 9 vermin. Okay. Mill 2 of my cards. So here, I got rid of 2 creatures. Okay, I think we go ahead and thin out the deck. Plains or a swamp. We got all the plains out already, so just 2 basic lands left in the deck. And here, this... How much do I have? I'm going to use it all. 3, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to dig in through the deck 7 places with Green Sun's Twilight. We're looking for a land and a creature. And they have another Spell Pierce they make good on. Okay. You made good on a Spell Pierce. And 2 lands. Okay. That's good for me.
Phyrexia surrounds you. Don't resist.
Sweet.
Phyrexia welcomes all.
No attacks regarding our Planeswalker for a moment. The Testament Bearer has very little toughness. It would technically be kind of good for them to attack the Planeswalker with both and just get rid of that 4/1 Testament Bearer, right? They're going, oh, straight for the face. And they'll just put 2 on the Praetor. Okay. You know, I should take the Lifelinker, but we're not going to. Because we're going to have a little trick now. We put down Augur of Autumn. We get to see what's on our deck. So now when we use a Johnny to reveal the top card, we know we're getting a draw because we know it's a creature.
We have allies everywhere.
In the meantime, I can kick this. Life Gain kicks in. Bingo. Go ahead and drop this. And this time we decline because we know we're getting another creature. And now the worm is turned. They're drawing only 1 card a turn. And I've got a nice little setup here that was intentionally designed. Yes. We're running out of basic lands. And they don't even wait for it. Their health is at 51. They got me down to what, 4 or 5? And they don't even hang around for 1 hit. Magic's full of cowards. That's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it. Use me, abuse me, and then run away. Whatever. We'll go in and show you the whole deck. Okay, my Stronghold. 4 copies of Stronghold Arena. Stronghold Arena is kind of a unique card in a way, because other cards that allow you to do this type of effect, they let you look at the card and choose to reveal it, and my Stronghold doesn't do that. and I'm going to show you a comparison because we have two different types of cards in here. I have a copy of Sorin the Merciless. It's the only copy I have. It's Mythic Rare. The +1 loyalty ability. Look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card and put it in your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its mana value. Sounds similar to Stronghold Arena, but it's not. For a Stronghold Arena, when it's combat damage, you may reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to its mana value. There's a difference. When it says you may reveal that card and put it into your hand, there's an important first sentence there. Look at the top card of your library. Stronghold Arena does not have that. There is no look at the top of your library first. With Sorin, you get to look at the top card and decide if you want to take it. Decide if you want to lose the life. Stronghold is a blind draw. If I have a 9 mana casting card and I don't know it, I'm going to take 9 points of damage if I agree to reveal the card and put it into my hand. So there's a drawback with this card. It doesn't work the way all of the other spells work that are similar to it. So to get around that, we built an interesting deck. Let me go through it. We got Meticulous Excavation, return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. You can only activate it during your turn. So I'm going to pair that with Lorna the Third Path, which destroys artifacts and enchantments if we get them both out at the same time. And my opponent has pesky artifacts and enchantments, more than one. I can bring Lauren back up. If I have enough energy, I'll put her right back down and destroy whatever I need to destroy next. It's just repeatable destruction. For removal, March of Wretched Sorrow gives me lifelink as I deal X damage. I've got a little bit of lifelink in the deck because I might be losing life, right, as I draw the extra cards. To that end, I also have 4 Alabaster Host Sanctifiers, 2/2s with lifelink. For removal, I got 3 Faithful Absences. This helped me control the Planeswalkers as well. Another lifelinker with my 1 copy of Intrepid Adversary. I got a Spirited Companion for the another kind of card draw, but just a little one-off. Sheoldred's Edict, because sometimes you just need to make them sacrifice something. I'm thinking I need 1 Sheoldred's Edict in case they run a Hexproof Kaya Planeswalker. Okay, because otherwise that's hard to get rid of. Shigeki Jukai Visionary helps me get at lands or get at stuff in the graveyard. 2 of the Dune Movers. This one's a little bit problematic, right? Because it reveals the land, puts the land on top of your library. Your opponent absolutely knows what your next card draw is going to be. Gix Yawgmoth Praetor, another way that I can pay life and draw a card. Again, we have to do combat damage with one of our creatures to our opponent. Okay, here's the combination. Augur of Autumn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. If we get an Augur of Autumn down and we have a Stronghold Arena down, we got no more problems. We have full information. We can see that top card. We know if it's going to be a land, we can play lands off top of our library. If it's another land and we deal combat damage, we know we can draw it without losing any life. But we know what we're getting into. Even if we are going to lose a lot of life, at least we're going to know it. We're going to be prepared. We're not going in blind. So that's why I have 4 copies of each. 1 Topiary Stomper, 4/4 Vigilance to go get out another basic land card. Sword of Forge and Frontier gives us protection from red and green. Also, when we're dealing combat damage to a player, you exile the top 2 cards of your library. You can play the cards this turn. This is another kind of nice little combination here. You'll notice there's a pattern of us. If we deal combat damage to our opponent, something good can happen. If we've got Augur and Stronghold out, and we equip Sword of Forge and Frontier on somebody, and we hit them, we know at least what the top card of our library is, and if we have enough energy to pay for it. We have an idea on if we want to attack, or if maybe there's a really exciting card coming up that we just can't cast anymore. Maybe it's more strategic advantage not to attack for a couple of points of damage and wait until we get that card into our hand. So this is the type of information that this setup is going to give us. Hostile Negotiations, another kind of card draw. Exile the top 3 cards of your library in a face-down pile. Then you exile 3 more in another pile. Your opponent gets to look at the pile that you choose to face up. The opponent chooses one of those piles and you put that pile into our hand. So we want to sort of show our opponent 3 of the cards, and they're kind of doing a blind taste test here. And if they think they can handle those 3 cards, they'll put those into our hand. If they think I'm showing them the most dangerous stuff, right, and they think I'm bluffing, they'll put the undercards in my hand that they can't see. So they'll choose the other pile, and then those 3 go into the graveyard. So it's going to be their choice. We have to kind of play a bluffing game with that. 3 Testament Bearers, 4/1. When they die, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the rest into your graveyard. That's kind of another reason why I have Shigeki. If I lose a couple of good cards, You know, if I have 3 good cards and I have to choose the best one, maybe I can still go dig out those others with Shigeki later. Soren, as we said, we also have a Johnny the Sleeper Agent. You just saw me use that pretty well, especially when we got Augur of Autumn out going. Just led right away to an opponent's scoop, even though they were at 51 health. Sigarda, Champion of Light, is my flyer. 4 forward trample. Humans get +1/+1. I don't have a lot of humans in here. It's basically Augur of Autumn is the human druids. If we get creatures with 3 or more different powers, we can look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal a human card and put it in your hand. I'm not expecting to hit on that a lot. As a matter of fact, we don't have a lot of, you know, we've got 2 and 4 for power. Shigeki's 1, so maybe if we have Shigeki out, that'll be 3. And we've got the 1 copy of Gix, it's 3 power. So a lot of the stuff that we have is not really the best match for that power, but that's okay. I also just got these 2 copies of Karn the Living Legacy, so I'm looking at the middle ability. Pay any amount of mana, look that many cards from the top of your library, put one of those cards in your hand. The problem I had was I also have Green Sun's Twilight, reveal the top X+1 cards of your library, creature and or land card from among them, and if it's 5 or more, you can put them straight onto the battlefield instead of your hand. The problem I've been having in my playtesting is it keeps giving me all 3 of these really early on, and they're really for later when I've built up a little bit of energy and can do something with them. And if they're just going to keep giving them to me up front, these are search cards that support the rest of the deck. They're the extra cards in the 65, because as you can see, I've got 25 lands, so I've got 1 extra land than usual. I've got 20 creatures, which is about average for me, and we still kept it at 2.9 for the average mana value cost. What else we got? Cruelty of Gix. Again, Chapter 2, search for a library for a card, put that card in your hand. Run in 7. I think everybody knows Run in 7, don't you? You can read that if you want. If I go through these too fast, you can always pause the video. And the deck list is published below. And then 1 board wipe for Vanquish the Horde, because the deck it's kind of a mid-range deck. It's kind of built so that you need to assemble the pieces before it really pops off, and we can get swarmed pretty easily. So maybe if I don't get Vanquish the Horde, I can go get it with Cruelty of Gix if I have 1 turn to do that. And then I can at least clear the field for a couple turns. Now the problem with a lot of this, and why I got to 65 cards from 64, because remember I said I have 25 lands, so I've got 4 extra. The 4 extra, it was originally 3 extra. The 2 Karns that I could search for cards, and Green Sun's Twilight that I could search for cards. They weren't working. So we'll talk about that as the game moves on. But I added in 1 more card, Cruelty of Gix, because of this tutor effect. Search your library for a card, a specific card, and put it in my hand. And we're doing that because of the way Wizards has changed the way they design cards over the last few years. And I've mentioned this in some of the previous videos. We did have a technical snafu where I lost audio. I was speaking while I was making the games, but my computer had chosen the wrong default to act as my microphone. So there's a couple of videos out there where it's just the gameplay, not my auto narration. So I'm not sure which I was talking about in which video. And I think we keep this because we have the Dune Mover to go get the next kind of land that we need, because we need a Plains for Alabaster. And we already have another discard. Discard's popular tonight. They get rid of Sheoldred's Edict. Okay. Let's see. I think we just put this down, use the Dune Mover. We could go get a second black mana, but I think we just go get the Plains. Because we have fewer Plains, if I get them out, then I have, for sure, I'd have my board wipe later, right? They know if they have another discard, they should probably just go, oh, they're just going to kill the Dune Mover? Okay. They might get rid of Mycosynth Gardens with Blast Zone. Do I care? I don't know that I care enough. Kind of depends on if they charge it up. Celestis. Okay. Mycosynth gives me the mana fixing. I can add one of any color as long as I pay the 1 cost for it. Let's take action while we've got the life. There we go. Draw card advantage. Let's work it. They can't get rid of Besiege because it's a land, so they could, if they don't like that March of Wretched Sorrow, they can discard that. Hello. I think we draw. Yeah, we're gonna play that. I think we're just attacking, right? Really? Don't tell me you have a second one ready. Go for the throat. Okay. What else? You're going to dig? Why would they give up Sheoldred like that to a 2/2? They knew that I had the card in my hand. They knew I had March of Wretched Sorrow. They could count my lands. I don't know what's going on. Let's go ahead and just throw out Testament Bearer. I'm not even going to use Besieger yet. They won't want to take 4 points. They'll probably use removal if they've got it. My problem is that they keep putting Sheoldreds up near the top all the time. All they do is a simple bounce. See? See, it's like I've played this game before. They put... Everybody's got 4 copies of Sheoldred except me, it appears. And no matter when you get rid of one, you know, we're only 15 cards deep. And they're actually shedding an extra Sheoldred because... Cute. Okay, what the heck do we do here? Let's put down you. Let's put you down for regular. Let's put you down. Literally, they gave him 3 Sheoldreds already within the first 16 cards. Ridiculous. I think we want the Planeswalker, right? We really need a removal spell at this point for at least one of those things. They're looking like they have removal. They do. Do they trade the Sheoldred just to clear the way for their incubations? It's not a bad strategy. Not a bad deal overall for them. So we're still going to get Wrenn into our hand pretty much no matter... Oh, figures. I think I need to keep that. Oh, good. Okay, so this comes down. We go ahead and get a blocker.
Symbio, from root to canopy.
We'll go ahead and get some more land and 1 life point. And let's go get the other planes. And now we do have a Fateful Absence. If they're not going to have card draw, they might want to go after Wrenn and 7 anyway, right? Would they attack with both of their creatures just to get Wrenn and 7 off the board? Yeah, they got that Celestis for the 2nd mana. Oh, I have Reach. What are you doing? Did they forget? I kind of like that. Auto pay 1. Let's go ahead and get some more land out of here. Excellent.
Foster much growth here.
We can play one of those, watch our tree get bigger, and we can play Fateful Absence if we need to. You have another one. And another Memory Deluge. You know what? Say goodbye. I don't think you have counterspells. If they're willing to give up some of these artifact creatures, they can get to Ren in 7, but they're not. Only one land.
We will help
That kind of sucks.
safe ground.
Our tree is getting bigger. Let's see, they're out 3 Shieldrids and 2 of the Seed Sharks. They know I've got the Aganjo. So maybe they're just building up critical mass so they can bum rush me all at once. They remove a cut down, because cut down's no good on either one of my creatures. And they destroy the non-artifact creature. Okay. They're ignoring their blast zone. They almost have lethal on me. And they still have cards and they still have open energy. Another Memory Deluge. They are making mileage off of that card tonight. It's not looking good for us, sports fans. Don't look at my card like you've got Duress. Okay? Duress means one of those goes away now. Kind of made you waste the card because I was thinking I was going to do that anyway. You can't get rid of my other stuff. They're going for it. You got to go with everybody, right? Is that going straight for my face? 40 you. Block you, even trade, and I get 2 life out of the deal total by the time we're done. And they have to discard something. So they discard a Murex. We do that. We do this. I go get another tree folk.
The trees can fight their own battles.
And I'm going to look 5 as deep as I can to get something.
We must conceal our plans.
Well, I guess we're getting Cruelty of Gix. We went to do a type of tutor and we got the tutor card. Oh, I don't like that. They're using my card against me. Cute. I only have 1 copy of that. So mean. Disruption Protocol. Sheoldred's Edict. Go for the throat. I'm going to give them this. Sheoldred's Edict they could use to kill my creature right away, and Disruption is a counter spell. So they got the Seed Shark out of that. What else did they get? It seems like I made the right choice, right? Or did I? Another Karn is not the greatest idea right now. Let's do Chapter 1. Let's see what they got. Sheoldred. They had their next Sheoldred. Cut down and make disappear. I don't care about make disappear that much. Losing a lot of creatures. There was no lands? When's the last time I whiffed on a land? What the heck?
Ah, geometric perfection.
They're gonna go look for my stuff again. They only got 21. Is it possible I could mill them first at this rate? They're getting to search through their deck quite a bit to get the stuff they want. I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of surprised that we're not dead already. I'm sort of running out of ways to use Ren in 7, actually. Seriously. Alright, what do we want? We're not facing red and green. That doesn't happen much anymore. I think... Do we just go get... What is that? That's a Phyrexian Shark. Do I even have removal anymore? I think I go get Shigeki. I think I need to dig into my graveyard and get stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4... So I can go get maybe 2 cards. Okay, what do we want? We want Fateful Absence. I want some removal. I want those 2. Auto pay. We've got enough. If they want to choose the casualty aspect of make disappear, I can pay for everything still. Tap that. Do this one last time.
Abzan still have secrets.
We will help you find safety.
Get 2 lands. And pass. I'm gonna mill myself out before I mill out my opponent. You know what, if they can't get rid of my enchantment, do I just take a Shieldred? For Chapter 3? They've got an army here. They can go after anybody they want. They go to Memory Deluge again. Out of 17 cards... You've searched through almost your entire deck by now with those 3 cards. They're tapped out though, right? What are you gonna do? Your turn. You're going to sacrifice a non-token creature, is what you're going to do. Give me Shieldred! Yes! Throw down the land, I guess. Firestone token. Channel you,
Geometric
get rid of you.
perfection.
Get a Treefolk creature, give up the Ghost on Ren at 7 because I don't have enough
Regenerate
cards anymore.
From root to canopy, the trees are
And
mighty.
I feel like we're done. And so does my opponent. Yeah, that was a kind of interesting game. I had to think my way through that each time. Too bad we can't see those cards. I want to talk to see what they've got in their hand at the end. They really did. I mean, we got rid of, what, 3 of the Seed Sharks and 3 of the Shieldreds, and as soon as I get the Shieldred, that means whenever they draw a card, they're going to lose 2 life. They can't handle it. They're still... Look, again, these wimps, they're over 20 life. They don't even want to give it a chance for 2 or 3 turns. Had me on the ropes the entire time. Uses cards like Siphon Insight to take my cards in the moment that the tables are turned. Hey, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. You started this. I'm just using your same tactics. You can't fault me for that. We'll do one more. So part of the reason why that tutor card is in there, you notice that it sort of came through in the clutch, because a lot of my earlier playtesting, I was whiffing on all the other cards. And the reason this has happened is because, and I know this because I've been listening to the podcast of the head designer of Magic the Gathering, Mark Rosewater. He's been the lead designer for many, many years. He's been with the company for, I don't know how many. I mean, the Wizards right now is more than 30 years old. They just hit 30. And Mark Rosewater joined pretty early on. Not at the very beginning, but just a couple of years later. Like, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years later. So he's going on 30 years with the company, and he's been head designer for a large part of that more modern time. And we really want to kick Stronghold Arena. We don't really want to show our hand ahead of time anyway, but this is one of those decks that's really fast, so we might be dying anyway. Everything that they have is going to be something that can pump itself up. See, Wedding Announcement, some more Generous Visitor, Spirited Companion would pump that thing up. Any enchantment. This is going to be an all enchantment kind of thing. And we just missed a land drop. So we play this because otherwise we're gonna run out of room in our hand anyway. So it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, we win a couple of hands. Hey, thanks, Dying King. You are the Wizards' way for Online Arena to set the record straight, because I can't have 3 straight wins in a row. You'll notice they also gave me the most expensive cards in my hand. Arena doesn't understand how cheap Vanquish the Horde can be when it's sorting things through. I don't have a lot of 5-drops. I've talked before about how I'm not allowed to have expensive cards in my deck. These are the 2 most expensive cards in my hand. What Arena does when it wants me to lose is it land stars me, and it gives me the 2 most expensive cards in my hand. So I'm never going to get to 5 lands in this particular match. It also won't give me the lands, the proper land colors that I need for my mix, even though I've done a lot of good land mixing in here. So it doesn't give me any of my 1-drops or 2-drops. It's minimum 3, and I still can't cast the 3-drop. My only saving grace is if I happen to get 2 planes out before I die, and it's not likely. Because I need 2 white mana sources for this, and it's not going to give it to me either. See? 4-drop. It's like I knew what was going to happen. Again, hello. Yeah, I've got nothing I can cast in my entire hand, opponent. That's all your skill. You totally deserve this win. Using a very common pure enchantment type deck that's guaranteed to come and hit you fast and go wide. Yeah. Thank you, Arena, for wasting my time when you could have just turned on the red light and told me that it was time for me to lose and just had me take an automatic loss. I don't know why the people at Wizards think this is fun. It's a big waste of everybody's time. If somebody's lost too many times, put them up against a bot opponent and make the bot lose. They're not going to know. Put them up against bots whenever you need them to get an artificial win so that the new players don't get scared off from losing all the time. And leave us alone. Leave the rest of us alone. If you insist on artificially janking our win record, just turn on the red light and make us press the button to proceed and give us the loss. Don't make me go through a few minutes every game that you want me to lose. It's utterly ridiculous. Okay, see, so we're getting the search card. We don't need that up front. This is a soldier deck. It's also pretty fast. We'll use Dune Mover. We will go get the next color we need, which is a second green source. So our enemy knows they have nothing to fear because we're just playing land. I guess we just let them hit us. Topiary can't even block still. We go get one more plains. Pass. Now I need my board wipe because we're up against a soldier deck. What are the odds? Here, this does me no good. That searches for landing creatures. No blocks. Come on through. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Yeah, put me up against the winningest deck there is right now. That's great. See if they have the protection or not. They do not. Alright. I'm going to put that down. Pass the turn. They've pretty much got lethal damage already with that anyway, so I have to chump block with Doom Mover, and I still can't get the 7 lands for Topiary Stomper because Soldiers is too fast. So they beat me with 3 lands. Because that's the kind of deck they have. Why would they attack with only 1? I think they're playing with me. Auto pay, auto pay. If they don't have removal, I could block with the adversary and survive another turn. Nope. No good. We did. Yeah, if I'd gotten the board wipe, that was the only thing that would have saved me. What? Do they... The Topiary Stomper can't block. What are you doing? I mean, we'll do this again. Are they just playing with their food, or did they generally... Do they not know that the Stomper couldn't block? Like, don't you still have lethal? 3, 6, 7. I think they still have lethal, no matter what they do. If they just bum rush me. There we go. That's everybody. Okay, so we stop you, and yeah, good game. Do we get rid of that, or do I get rid of that? I think we get rid of that? No, wait. I think we get rid of the extra point, right? Doesn't matter? Did not get what I needed. We can kick that. Woohoo! I got 7 life. And... and we whiff. We had some good cards coming up, but none was the board wipe. And we die. I think we could have died a lot sooner. But yeah, Arena's decided they're going to play rock, paper, scissors, and I'm the scissors, and they're going to bring out the rock, which is just the really fast, really cheap things, because I need a little bit more time to get going. It's not like those finely tuned Itali decks that have just the perfect amount of ramp that they always manage to hit. This is a different type of deck. Alright, let's see if you don't put us against the statistically most winning deck in all of Arena. Swamp, Mountain, or Forest. And 2 white sources, and a search card. No good. I did click Mulligan, didn't I? Okay, I was going to say. Alright, what do we get rid of? I think we... I guess we're going to have to get rid of Rented 7. Expensive card. Alright, let's go get... planes. Did you just put me up against the soldier deck again, Arena? They put me up a soldier deck twice in a row. What is wrong with you? You've already hammered me twice. And not in a good way. You notice I haven't gone up against anything red or green. Anything that might allow me to do good didn't work. Yeah, you can come on through. I'm not attacking with that. You left 3 open mana. Any day now. You're a soldier deck. What do you have to be slow about? Like, this isn't the most played deck in all of Arena right now. That was so difficult to let it hit. Okay, I think we go get another forest. We need to be able to cast some stuff. Soren's gonna have to wait. If they got removal, they got removal. No, they have a planeswalker. Ugh.
We can save everyone.
How about you save me? I'm the one in trouble. They can just create those all day
Shine
long.
bright, hero.
Okay, we see the top deck, and it is not a land, so we're going to miss our land drop. Even when we can play lands off the top of our deck, even when Arena's already made sure to put us up against disgusting decks that make us lose twice in a row, we're still missing land drops. And putting us against the most ridiculous kind of things.
Ready arms!
Can't get through the Planeswalker at all now. But they also can't attack right this turn. I mean, we can afford to play it. We'll get rid of the only thing that we can. We still miss our land drop. 5 lands to 3. Third game in a row. This is kind of how my playtesting went. So we're kind of reverting back to the mean. I have so much potential ramp in this deck with things like the Stomper, with being able to play lands off the top like Augur, but it just doesn't matter if they're not going to let me play the stuff. They're not leaving me a choice. I've got to play the Stomper next, just to go get one more basic land out. They use Unearth now. They're creating a nice little army,
To win.
which means I'm going to need my board wipe soon. That is a lot of damage. Alright, we gotta get rid of Myrel, even if they have a duplicate. We gotta get rid of it now. And we can't attack with Augur. Do you have a way to save it? They got more land than ever, and they still got 3 cards they're hoarding. So, yeah, they got a gotcha. Okay, so Myrel still lives. I don't even have the second white mana source to cast the board wipe, even if I had the board wipe in hand. And we still missed a land drop. After all of that, they still made us miss the land drop. Unbelievable. You already made sure I lost 2 battles in a row. This is 3 in a row with no choice. 0 chance. And you notice how long it took us to get to our win on the last time. It takes us forever to win. We've really got to earn it. 6 lands to 4, and it's only because I've got a ramp card. And Augur's been completely useless because there's been nothing. 4 cards deep, there's been nothing for me for land. My opponent makes the land drop all the time. Yeah, they're flying now, right? So yeah, we're dead soon. Didn't give me any removal either, did they? They gave me a flyer that's not going to work now. They can kill me easy next turn. Still never gave me a land. Had to bite and scratch and fight just to get 1 land out of the deck with a spell card. I feel like we're being punished a lot tonight. Anyway, back to my story about the tutoring and listening to Mark Rosewater's podcast. He gives us this information on tutor cards every now and then when he's covering, usually when he's covering the sets, he'll get to a card that has a tutor effect, and he'll talk about how Wizards kind of doesn't like to make too many of the tutor cards. Most of the reasoning that he gave early on talked about the specialty cards, the ones that would be useful for me to do anything other than play as lands. We've got to play as lands. Thanks, Arena. You're a pal. No, this is fine. My opponent's going to have the extra land because they make good Azusa's Many Journeys. We always whiff on it, by the way. About approximately 80% of the time that I've tried to do that, we whiff on it. I'm going to put this down. I should probably put Beam Mover down, but I'm not going to. So they don't like tutor cards. The reason they gave. Yeah, they made their land drop like always. Take action. We go get the green so that we can put out Augur, so we can at least see what's on top of our deck. They don't like everything to be so consistent. They don't want you to just tutor for your card, get your win combo, always have the deck play out the same way. They want a little variety. That's part of why they have this land mana system that they have. Gross. We'll do that. Let's see, remind me what this does. If it does, the land gains indestructible. Okay, yeah, we'll get rid of the 4/5. Turns into a land. They still have their 3/3. And they made sure to give us 3 cards that are the wrong color for what we've got for color land. The opponent's still not missing the land drop, by the way. Outnumbers 2-1 on land again. Okay, they're not going to make the land drop this time. They are! You're kidding me. What is up? Okay, there's 1 land finally off the top. We can now finally go get a swamp. No. Vanquish the Horde, in case we need it. They got rid of the lifelinker instead of Augur. That's a mistake. Or is it? We missed a land drop. And they're not giving us the right colors. And they knew they'd get a 3/3 back anyway. They're just going to give me all my black spells this time, is how they're going to mess with me. Another one of those. Crap in a hat. Can they tackle? It has haste. Sure, come on down. No blocks. Hit me! Thank you. We'll make that our black mana source finally. Get rid of everybody. You gonna counter that? You have to lose your Merfolk. Okay, they're gonna counter that. Alright. No attacking. Oh, isn't that convenient? No blocks. And I was hoping that would be a land. We can make them get rid of this. Everything stops flying. I think we just have to pass. The island doesn't stay, right? It doesn't stay a 3/3. It does? That is messed up. I didn't know it stayed that way. Sacrifice a creature token. Wait, none of those count as creature tokens? Their land, they just... Oh. Okay, I messed up. I mean, I was going to lose anyway, but I messed up. Okay, they still outnumbered me on land. We're gonna do one more just so I can finish my story on the tutoring, because they let Mark Rosewater tends to tell us additional parts of the story. The more he talks, and the more podcasts he does, you know, the more he remembers to talk about. So they want to keep things a little bit with conflict and tension and variety and diversity and all that good stuff. So he also said that they don't want you to play one card and have that be your win condition, have you tutor for the one card all the time. They want you to play 4 cards, which I'm a free-to-play player. I don't have 4 copies of every Mythic Rare card, and I don't have enough wild cards to get all of them. So I rely on the tutor effects. I use those a lot to do what I need to. So what the latest thing we found out is that the research and design element part of the company, that division, they're the ones that really are putting up the resistance to tutor cards. And so what they've done, what their compromise is they've done more of these other cards that I'm using. They've done more of these cards that are, look at the top X cards of your deck and get a land or a creature or something like that. And so that way you can still have a mini tutor effect, you're just looking through the top. And so in the last 3-4 years, let's see, what are we going to get rid of? I guess we get rid of those 2. Go get Dune Mover. Go get a land so we don't miss our land drops. Get in the forest so we can put down Augur. And of course they have Sheoldred on curve, Mythic Rare on curve, so we're gonna die. Because that's the way this game works. Look at this. 250 card deck, he gets an on-curve Mythic Rare. Does anything like this feel random or skillful to anyone? And now we're getting flooded with land. When I finally need a card, I need removal. I can finally get any combination of land colors that I want to cast whatever I need. And now they're just going to keep giving me land. Way to go, Arena. What happened to 50%? I was supposed to be able to win 50% of my games. This is going to be like the 4th loss in a row. Bring this down. That's going to be my second black mana source. I think I can kick this now, right? It gives me 6. This card is useless versus Shieldred. And so is that land. Magic. 250 cards, and he's going to beat me with one on-curve Shieldred out of 250 cards. So lucky. I mean, I'm sorry, so skillful. He managed to get Shieldred right when he needed to. Oh, look, they gave me the card that has protection from red and green when I'm facing mono black. Did you notice, Magic users? Not a single red and green deck the entire time. What a coincidence! How about that? That's just such a big coincidence. It's so amazing. So amazing. So amazing. Do they have anything in their graveyard? They don't have a creature. I can't afford the lose 3 life of the tutor effect now. That's why they gave me this card. I can go get a card from mine. My opponent's having fun with the emoticons. We'll let them have their fun. 250 cards. Mythic rare. Mythic rare. Mythic rare. Total coincidence. Magic Arena does not want me to play this deck. This is how the playtesting has gone. You got to see the two sort of chances that I had to show you how the deck works, and that's all we get. The rest is insanely against us. So this is part of what I'm talking about. Normally, the tutor card would have let me go get the board wipe. And it wouldn't have let me win the game. It just would have cleared the board of all the mythic rares that Arena dealt my opponent out of its 250 card deck. You got 3 mythic rares up top and exactly the right mana curve to get them. Meanwhile, I've got ways to play lands off the top of my deck. I've got different ways to go get lands. And most of the time they're starving me still, except for when they want to start flooding me out. So here's the problem that I've been having with Wizards of the Coast's alternative to tutor cards. They've got Karn, where you can pay any amount of mana and look at that many cards from the top of your library. We've got Green Sun's Twilight. To pay X, look at that many cards from the top of your library. Most of the time, in all of my playtesting, when I play these cards, I whiff. I'm going 5, 6, 7 cards deep, and at the precise time when I'm looking for a creature, it only shows me a valid land. I don't get a creature 7 cards deep into my deck. It's a little bit ridiculous for me to be whiffing that much. Karn Living Legacy, I'm not saving mana to cast a spell that I find. I am spending 5, 6, 7 mana at a time to look as deep in my deck as I can for a useful card for the situation I'm in at the time, and I am whiffing. So their alternative to tutoring has been a miserable failure for me. In my playtesting, the card that worked best for me almost every time, Cruelty of Gix. When it shows up, I go get the card I need. It helps me survive. That's all it's helping me do. Whether I'm getting a Sheoldred's Edict, or a Fateful Absence, or a Vanquish the Horde, or maybe I need Lorna the Third Path to destroy an artifact or enchantment, or maybe I just need something like a Planeswalker. I can go get a lot of different things in here, whatever I need. I've got a lot of. But Arena's getting a little ridiculous with the rock, paper, scissors thing because it's no longer a fair game, right? It's always rigged for me to be the scissors. How many games was that? We did like 6 games? Not a single red and green. Not a single one, because we have protection from red and green. We have 1 card in the deck that can give us that, potentially, if we draw it. And Magic sees that, and their algorithm says, oh, they have protection from red, and they have protection from green. Don't give them any red and green decks today. It is disgusting what Arena does in their matchmaking. I don't know if anybody else suffers quite the same way that I do, but it's pretty sad. So, note, we're going to be getting more and more of these cards all the time because R&D doesn't like tutor cards. And these cards whiff way too often. So it's not fun, it's frustrating because there's not much tension and there's not much suspense and there's not much of this gambling aspect of will it hit or won't it, because most of the time I'm whiffing. That's been my experience so far in my testing. And yeah, I'm not having fun with that. This could have been a fun deck if Arena had dealt with us fairly. If they would really randomize who our opponent is, every now and then put us up against mono red aggro. They could still beat us easily. I might not even draw this card. They could kill me in the first 4 turns. That's happened. Green could easily get out a bunch of big creatures and stomp me to death. Just the fact that I have this one card, you're going to rig the entire matchmaking process against me for the entire evening and siphon me away from those 2 specific cards. And you're going to put me up against what? The Soldiers deck, which still has the winningest percentage on the entire game, even today. And you're going to put me against Mono Black, which has a lot of removal for my 20 creature cards. So that's the treatment we're getting. I haven't noticed this big a bias against deck construction in a while. So, I could build in a few more board wipes. I've had to do that in the past just to survive. I can do that. I was trying not to. But I kind of like the Stronghold Arena card. I like the workaround that I had. If I get these 2 out together, which can happen, it makes for a nice engine. And especially if I can get something like an Ajani or a Sorin with their draw card advantage abilities, I can really start cooking with the types of cards that I can summon as I need them. And when it's really popping off, it's really a beautiful deck. But it's very rare that Arena leaves us alone enough. Most of it's land starving. Every like 4 or 5 games it's land flooding, which doesn't make much sense because I have 25 lands and I've got 65 cards. Technically, I should starve myself without flooding quite so much in this deck. But as you saw, sometimes it just gives me lands when I need a good spell. So I don't know what to do about this because I'm not in charge of Arena's sorting mechanism. But it kind of bites and it's kind of frustrating because I feel like these could be more fun matches if I wasn't able to see the artificialness of how Arena matches me up so obviously. And it's not like I have to edit the games, right? There's no editing here. We just hit record and we went. And guess what? No red and green, no red and green, no red and green. Monostarve, soldiers. You can't make this stuff up. I guess I have to drop money on this game or something. That's the only way I can think of that it might treat me fairly for a night. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think of the deck. Let me know what you think of the workaround. And I wish I could have shown you more of the choices that we could make that would be more interesting in terms of us seeing with Arena out, us seeing what cards were there, us hitting the enemy, us having a chance to say, hey, do I want to pay life and take that card? I've had some really wonderful games. I've had some really wonderful matches with this deck, but they're just too few and far between, so I don't know what to do about that. Let me know if you do. Anyway, we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.